so you got my last text? Oh, great. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry I missed your call, but my cell phone died and I had to charge it back up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Goodman's. It's on the corner of 5th and Main. Ah, well then, yeah, you're almost here. Okay, well, great. Well, just come on in. We're going to be sitting in the reception area. No. It's just me and Mom. Okay, well, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, good news. That was Aunt Eileen, and she's almost here.
You mean to the funeral home?
Yeah.
Oh, thank the Lord. Wait, how did she know to come to this funeral home?
Don't worry about it. I texted her. She just took a taxi from the airport.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna cost her more than $20. We could have gone and gotten her.
Mom, we've been just a little busy, remember? Besides, Aunt Eileen, she can afford it.
Well, it's not like she's a Rockefeller. Oh, it just seems like a waste of money.
It's fine, Mom. Come on, just sit down and relax.
Right. I just hope she gets here before they do. I asked them to give me some time with the funeral director before they come. Surely they'll respect that.
Well, I just don't understand why you even told them they could come to the funeral home in the first place.
Well, I didn't. They just said they were coming.
Yeah, but you didn't have to tell them which funeral home.
Well, there was so much going on at the hospital, and they were asking so many questions that before I knew it, it just sort of slipped out.
Yeah, but Mom, that's the way it's gonna be this whole time. They're gonna pick at you and they're browbeat you, all under the guise of being sweet and helpful. And the next thing you know, you're gonna be sitting on the front step of your house in your underwear, thinking, but at least I'm not naked.
I know. That's why I need you and Eileen. I need the two of you to hold them off. I just don't know what they're liable to do.
Oh, Mom, you know they're capable of just about anything.
Not anything. We should give them the benefit of the doubt. After all, they are his kids.
You are too nice.
Oh.
Hey, Mom, look. They have a payment plan here. You could make time payments for the funeral.
Oh, sweetie, they'd never let me make time payments.
Hi, gals. I'm here.
Oh, my goodness, Eileen, thank goodness you're here.
Oh,
Belinda.
Hi, sweetie.
Well, look at you. You look so nice. You know this is Tucson, right? Nobody dresses up here.
Oh, well, call me old-fashioned, but I still like to dress up a little bit when I'm on an airplane.
Oh. Did you have a good flight?
Well, it was a no-frills airline. That meant no sodas, no snacks, no service. And they made the passengers bust the plane before they'd let us off.
Oh, no.
And still, she dresses up to fly.
Well,
yeah.
at least it was nonstop. So how are you holding up?
I'm all right. It's been hectic, but I'm sure glad you're here.
Oh, well, what are sisters for? So, can you fill me in? Belinda's text messages didn't say much.
Oh, well, I just said it's time to come. I thought that was enough.
I figured I'd get the details when I got here.
He died at 2 this morning.
Oh my, it's nearly 3:30 in the afternoon. You must be exhausted.
Belinda and I managed to get a few hours sleep, but it has been hectic. I did not realize how much is involved when someone dies. I'm so tired I can't even think straight.
Well, lucky for me he died when he did. I can take plenty of time off, and the administration won't care because it's the start of spring break.
Yeah, Frank was always thoughtful that way.
Oh, that didn't come out right. What I meant to say was, if he had to die, this was a convenient time.
Hey, dead is dead, regardless of the day.
I suppose that's one way to look at it.
So,
Well, here's what happened. Thursday they ran all kinds of tests, and Frank seemed very stable. They were optimistic.
That's what Belinda's message said.
Then, he couldn't talk, but he squeezed my hand, so I know he knew I was there. And then Friday, he slipped into a coma. And
I'm so sorry. It's okay. It's okay.
we sang to him. You know how Frank loved music. Oh, his favorite hymn was "How Great Thou Art." So people from our church came and we all sang hymns to him.
Oh,
The nurse said she'd never seen anyone do that before.
I'm sure he heard.
Oh, where is that funeral director?
I don't know. Maybe out trolling for dead bodies.
Oh, no, the receptionist said he had an unexpected emergency and would be a little late. Oh, but this waiting is just killing me.
Hey, lucky for you, you're in a funeral home.
Very funny. I want to talk to him before the relatives get here.
I mean, Frank's relatives.
Didn't you feel the disturbance in the force?
Well, you know that they couldn't miss an opportunity to harass the horrible monster who took their precious father away.
Gosh, that's kind of harsh, isn't it?
Oh, you don't know what all they've said and done already. Not to mention the way they treated Mom all these years.
Well, I guess I don't.
Who all's coming?
Rhoda and Marianne are, as far as we know, there could be others. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Marianne. That's Tessa's daughter, isn't
Mhm.
it? Is Tessa coming?
Oh, she's not sure she can get away. She has an important job. She's an executive, don't you know? And it is her father, after all.
So we have the junior witch of the South flying in to be in Tessa's stand-in. You know, I don't think she needed a plan.
Now, you can't say that about Marianne. I talked to her before Frank died. She was so sweet on the phone. Oh, she couldn't have been nicer. She said she felt so bad about her grandfather. She told me she has lots of experience with military funerals since she's in the Army.
So what that probably means is she's just attended a military funeral.
She said that she could be very helpful, especially with the paperwork that's involved. She asked if I wanted her to come.
So of course, Mom said yes.
Well, I don't know anything about military funerals, and if she does, that could be very helpful. She was so sweet on the phone.
Mom, this is the same girl who gave you and Frank the cold shoulder at her own wedding. And just to be sure that Mom got the message that Frank's family didn't want her there, they had Marianne's little sister walk down the aisle carrying a huge photo of Frank's first wife and set it in the pew.
Are you kidding?
Well, at least they didn't dig up the body and roll that in.
Only because I didn't think of it. I'm telling you, I think it was because Tessa didn't think Mom and Frank were sophisticated enough for her fancy friends.
Well, I'm surprised Tessa isn't here. She's always been the ringleader.
She might as well be here as many times as she's called to boss us around.
Why did you talk to her?
We didn't. She kept giving us instructions through Rhoda, and then Rhoda kept handing me her phone trying to get me to talk to her.
Yeah, Tessa's always got to be in charge.
She even wanted to have Frank moved from hospice back to the hospital.
Like we could even do such a thing.
I mean, there is protocol for that sort of thing. Gosh, I had to walk Rhoda down to the nurse's station and have the staff explain to her that we couldn't move him.
Well, have Tessa come, and she and Rhoda can take charge of the whole thing, and they can pay for it too.
Yeah, like that's gonna happen.
I see you brought your Bible.
Yeah, I was looking for some appropriate scriptures. You know, Frank loved the Bible. He used to pass out Bibles to the homeless. God love him.
Yeah, he was a big believer in witnessing to lead people to the light.
All the while we had trouble keeping our lights on. I'm thinking the 23rd Psalm would be a good one.
Thou preparest a funeral before me in the presence of mine enemies, perhaps?
How about, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil.
Relatives.
Well, you know Rhoda's favorite line is, He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. You know she takes that lying down part quite literally. She's never worked a day in her life.
Well, she must be quite a contrast to Tessa. Where are they?
Hopefully still at the hotel. They finally got the hint that I wasn't going to invite them to stay with me once Frank passed.
Yeah, whenever they took Frank away, Rhoda kept saying that she wanted to go over to Mom's house and take a little nap. We knew that was code for, I want to come and stay with you.
So, were you there when Frank died? No, Rhoda and Marianne were. Belinda and I had gone home. We were both so exhausted. Well, Frank seemed stable. We'd only been home a couple of hours when Rhoda called and we went straight back to the hospice.
Yeah, after, they wanted to come and stay, and I was like, that's not a good idea at all. Mom called the pastor.
Oh yes. I needed an extra line of defense since you weren't here.
She figured they might behave themselves if a stranger were around.
He met us at 5:30 this morning. God love him. And he insisted on taking us all out to breakfast. By the time we were finished, Rhoda and Marianne gave up and got a hotel.
Which was good, because if they would have gotten in the house, they would have ransacked it.
Oh, surely not.
Oh, you don't know them. Oh, Mom, you have got to tell her the story about what happened when their mother died.
Oh no, I couldn't tell that. That'd be like airing their dirty laundry.
Oh, come on, Mom, you know that was one of Frank's favorite stories.
Oh, God. Well, when Molly, that's Frank's first wife, passed away, Frank pulled Rhoda aside at the funeral and told her he had an extra dresser that he wasn't going to need anymore now that he was going to be living alone. He knew Rhoda could use an extra dresser because she has all those kids. Rhoda says, sure, could she and Tessa go right over, pick it up, and maybe take a few mementos that had belonged to their mom.
Yeah, see, Frank, he still had some things to do back at the church, so he just gave the girls a key to get in. Oh, that was his first mistake.
Oh,
No, it wasn't. His first mistake was having those two yahoos to begin with.
oh, now. So, Tessa and Rhoda go into the house and proceed to clean out everything.
Oh, surely not everything.
Oh, well, a lot. I mean, they took Molly's clothes, which was fine, but then they also took the draperies, the bedspread, the suitcases, the pictures on the wall,
Cake
her good
mixes
clock.
and candles.
Oh,
no,
the
hey,
sewing
stop,
machine
stop.
and the, oh, well.
Well, the only reason that they didn't take the canary was because Frank didn't have one.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe people behave that way.
Believe it. But you have to tell her the best part of the story.
Oh. So, when Frank gets home, he looks and there they are in the driveway, loading up the dining table into the back of a pickup truck, and Frank says, hey, I'm still living here. I need that dining table. And Tessa says real snotty, oh, come on, Daddy. What do you need with a dining table? When are you going to dine?
Frank was mad as a wet hen.
Yes.
So he tells him, hey, you bring that table back in the house, because if I don't have something in the middle of the room, I'll crack my head on the chandelier.
Oh, the things people will do. Well, that was one of the few times Frank stood up to those girls. Rhoda's husband, Dan, was so embarrassed, he took that table out of the truck and moved it right back into the house. Oh, God love him. Frank was always so generous.
God love him nothing. You know, he was too generous, if you ask me.
What a story.
Well,
I haven't seen or talked to those girls in years. Not since you and Frank got married.
Gosh, I hadn't either. You know, we were sitting there in Frank's room, and all of a sudden, these strange creatures just kind of swooped in on their brooms and started trying to take over. I didn't even recognize them at first.
well, I'm trying to keep a positive attitude. I mean, Frank would have wanted it that way, but I'm dreading this meeting if the relatives show up.
Gosh, I wonder why.
Everyone's going to have an opinion on how everything should be done, and I just want a simple funeral that doesn't cost any more than it has to.
Yeah. So, Mom wants to have Frank buried in his tackle box.
In that little tackle box? Really? Can you do that?
Why not? Oh, Frank loved fishing, and cremation is so much cheaper than burying a body. Why not put his ashes in something he loved?
Oh! Ashes! Oh, why not indeed? I think there's something very poetic in that.
Oh, good, because I remember when I gave him this tackle box, our first Christmas together. When Frank unwrapped it, he looked at me and said, "Girl, you get me. Now I know you're the one for me."
Oh, that's sweet.
So I'll have the tackle box on the altar with Frank's ashes sealed inside, and people can come up and tell stories about him. I'll recite the 23rd Psalm. We'll sing some hymns. The minister will say a few words. He'll pray. And we're done.
Do you think his family's going to go along with that?
Well, who cares if they don't? They're not paying for any of it anyway.
Well, that's easy to say. But if they have other ideas, it may be tricky to get your way with the arrangements.
I know, that's why you're here. I'm going to let you deal with them.
Oh, gosh, thanks. Hey. Look, I know that money is tight. You think they'll help with the expenses at all?
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? Their lifelong goal was to get as much money out of Frank as possible.
I just wish they'd leave me alone and go away. Oh, where's the funeral director?
Mom, you know they are not going to leave you alone as long as they think there is any money to be had. They probably think they're going to be collecting buckets of insurance money.
Is there any insurance money?
I doubt it. Not only that, I don't know how much of Frank's Navy pension I'll get now that he's passed. I don't know how I'm going to pay all the bills. Oh, those girls spent years putting him into debt.
Did they realize what they were doing?
Huh? Did they care?
Well, I'm trying to be nice to them, and I'm hoping you'll be nice to them. Belinda?
Yeah, we'll be nice to them.
Eileen?
All right, I'll be nice to them.
Oh, Sarah! There you are. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. You remember my sister Eileen? She flew in from Newark.
Yes, Eileen, how nice of you to come. I know it would mean so much to Daddy to know you're here.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you. And dear sweet Belinda, how are you doing?
Oh, you know, I'm managing somehow.
Oh, this must be grueling. Oh, look, there aren't enough chairs.
Oh,
Marianne, I know you won't.
Mind standing?
hi, Marianne.
Hi.
Oh, Marianne. Sarah tells me you know all there is to know about military funerals.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you know, Mary Ann flew in from Houston.
Oh, how was your trip?
Well, I drove straight through, except for meals and gas. You drove straight through without stopping. Isn't that like 1,200 miles? Hey, could you really drive that far without stopping overnight? Well, I guess I did make one stop. It's a long drive from Kansas to Arizona, as you know.
I wonder if the motel had a pool.
When did you get in?
Last night, Tessa had me pick up Marianne at the airport, and we drove straight to the hospital. I wanted to get there before Daddy died. I prayed all the way in the car, and although my prayers were answered, he never regained consciousness, as you know.
Well, you must be as exhausted as Sarah.
Well, just being at his bedside gave me comfort and strength. But the way those people were treating him at the hospital, as if he were already dead. Sarah, I'm just so sorry you weren't on those people to treat him more carefully.
I thought they were very attentive.
Of course you did. And it was a shame that you were home sleeping when he passed away.
Well, yes, but I was up with him day and night from the time he first had his stroke. I was exhausted. I had to get some rest. I thought we'd have more time.
Oh, I know. You did your best. Well, I held his hand. I felt like he somehow knew I was there.
Probably because you were stepping on his oxygen hose.
I'm sorry, what?
They had to put oxygen in his nose.
And I could just feel the Lord's presence in that hospital room. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I've hardly slept at all in the last 2 days.
Me neither.
Oh, of course. Be a lamb and get me some water, would you? I've hardly slept at all since I got the first call. Of course, that wasn't until Thursday morning.
Well, they had to run all kinds of tests. They weren't sure how really serious a stroke it was.
No. And it was a surprise to get a call from my ex-husband instead of you.
Well, if you'll recall, I only called Danny after I tried to get a hold of you several times and nobody answered.
And it was a surprise to get that call from to get a call like that from my worthless ex-husband. Leaves a little sting to the shock.
Well, yes, but I thought it best to hear the news from a real person.
And we just thought that maybe you and Danny might want to reminisce about old times.
Like all the time she's taken him to court.
We just thought, she didn't want to leave a message. Oh, of course. She can be so thoughtful that way. What is that ugly tackle box doing here? Is that Daddy's tackle box? Mom, just wanted to have something here that reminded her of Frank.
We're so surprised that you are here. You're so tired. I would have thought you'd be at your hotel getting some sleep.
Oh, well, we didn't want to leave Sarah alone. We knew she'd need a lot of help with the details of Daddy's funeral, right, Marianne?
Uh-huh.
She's not exactly alone. Here. Oh, I know. Bless your heart. Oh! Well, and there are so many decisions to be made. It just must be overwhelming.
Yes, there are a lot of decisions to be made.
And if there's one thing I know about you, is that you need help making decisions. And we're going to help you with all of it.
It seems so surreal. Frank was just in the den watching television. And I was in bed reading. I called out and said, "Frank, it's getting late. Come to bed." He came in and he laid down on the bed, closed his eyes, put his hand to his head. He didn't take off his glasses. I knew something was wrong. I said, "Frank! Frank! Frank!" answer. He just laid there.
And then you called Belinda.
Yes.
It's such a shame you didn't call 911 immediately. Sarah, when a person has a stroke, every minute is crucial, you know.
Rhoda, we weren't on the phone 30 seconds. I told her to hang up and dial 911. Sarah did the right thing.
Oh, I know she did. Bless her heart. Still, one can't help but wonder.
No.
But we're going to help you through all of this, right, Marianne?
Yes, we want to be certain that Grandpa's wishes for his funeral are met. We know that's what Sarah wants as well.
Well, I mostly just want to get some information about what all is involved in a burial. I didn't even think to bring any of Frank's papers.
You didn't bring those? Not even papers from the hospital?
The hospital faxed the papers to the funeral home already. And Mom, I actually brought all of Frank's ID that I could find. I've got his driver's license and his base pass and even his social security
Can
card
I see
here.
those?
Sure, I guess.
Thanks. Mind if I take a photo of his base pass?
What? Did you mean? I don't think that.
Sorry to be delayed. I'm Jim Goodman, one of the directors here.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Mr. Goodman. I'm Rhoda Mason, Frank's daughter, and this is Marianne, his granddaughter.
Nice to meet you.
And this is Sarah Coleman, Frank's wife. Her daughter Belinda. I'm Eileen Bracknell, Sarah's sister.
Well, it's nice to meet all of you. And first, let me say how sorry I am for your loss.
Thank you.
I know this is a difficult time for everyone.
Yes, this has been a very difficult time.
The body has been transferred from the hospital to our facility, so if you're ready, we'll go over a few things. Now, Sarah, you're Frank's wife, yes?
Yes.
And I'm his daughter.
Now, will Tessa Miller be joining us?
What?
Tessa's my sister, Marianne's mother, and she's not here.
I'll call her and put her on speakerphone. She'd like to help with some of these decisions.
No, that's quite all right. We've heard a lot from her already. She has power of attorney.
Wait, you've spoken with Tessa? No. She does not have power of attorney.
No, Mom has power of attorney.
She's the executor of the estate.
Really? Well, I must be confused. It's quite all right, as power of attorney is moot once a relative has passed. Now, Sarah, my notes say your husband was a veteran.
Yes, he was in the Navy for 20 years.
I remember when Daddy was in the Navy. When he was gone, we missed him so much.
He served 3 tours of duty in Vietnam.
Oh, we were so scared when he was in Vietnam. We didn't know if he was coming home, if he'd be injured, or God forbid, have an arm or a leg shot off.
Rhoda, he worked in the kitchen, but he never saw combat.
That's fine, ladies. We just needed to confirm he was in the service. His jobs and ranking don't matter.
I'm in the military as well, and I know what Grandpa's wishes were. We want to have a service that includes full military honors with an open casket.
Wait, what?
Daddy will look so handsome in his dress blues.
I don't know anything about this.
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. We need to hear from Mr. Goodman what all is involved in the funeral and what the expenses will be.
We know what Grandpa wanted, and we want to be certain his wishes are met.
Yes, we definitely know what he wanted. He wanted a full military honors.
Well, that's certainly a possibility.
I don't know.
There are several options. First, who will be responsible for the funeral expenses?
Oh,
Well, I
don't
guess-
worry about that. Grandpa had an insurance policy that will completely cover all his funeral expenses.
Are you sure? Well, I never remember seeing one, and he never talked about one.
My mom has all the information on the policy. And don't worry, I'll help you find it.
Oh, sure you will.
Yes, there definitely was a funeral policy.
When we're finished here, we'll go straight to your house and start looking.
Like hell you will.
What? She's worried about the bill.
Well, we do need to get some basic information besides the possible insurance policy.
I'm the one who has all the information. I've had experience with military funerals. The first thing we need is his DD 214 papers. Did you bring those?
What are those? Well, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, those are the papers every person in the military is given when they leave the service. Every veteran in the world has those papers. You have to have them to get a job, apply for Social Security, all kinds of stuff. No one who's in the military loses those papers. They're probably with the insurance policy.
The one made out to you. Mary Ann is so good at these things, I don't know what we'd do without her.
Frank's discharge papers. Yes, I remember him telling me about those. Oh, that was years ago.
You don't have those? I'm so surprised you wouldn't have discussed these matters.
We did talk about things. I just didn't know he would go so suddenly. I mean, he was in perfectly good health until Wednesday. Well, he had a few setbacks, but he always bounced back, you know. I just thought we'd have more time.
But these things happen. That's why you have to plan. Keep things in order.
Yes, ladies.
She has been just a little busy taking care of your dad. Oh, I know she has. Bless her heart. And he put in everything into taking care of her as well. Frank has had 3 heart attacks, and Mom's never been sick a day in her life.
Mrs. Coleman, do you think you could find those papers?
Yes, I'm sure I can find them when I get a minute.
Well, let's get some of the preliminaries out of the way in the meantime. First, where would you like to have the funeral?
Well, I was
The body's
thinking it
being
would be-
flown back to Kansas.
Back to Kansas? Oh, good grief. Can we even do such a thing?
Yes, we do fly bodies to other parts of the country on
Ooh.
occasion.
Well, going back to Kansas would be like going home for him. Me too, for that matter.
They've only lived in Tucson for a few years.
I completely understand. It's only natural we want to be buried near family.
But I wasn't thinking in those terms. What all is involved?
Well, we would make arrangements for a funeral home in Kansas to accept the body.
How does that work?
Well, it's perfectly customary. The process starts
The
here.
process starts here. We make an arrangement with an airline to fly the body back to Kansas. We'll prepare the body, transport it to the airport. The Kansas funeral home will meet the airplane and transfer to their facility. They will take care of the service.
How much would that cost?
Sarah, goodness, don't worry about how much things cost. Have a little faith. The Lord will provide. Well, I don't think that the Lord is going to fly him back to Kansas.
We would have to figure the preparation, the cost of the airline, and of course the fee from the Kansas funeral home.
What about the military? Wouldn't they pay for that? I would think they would.
Can
Well,
you give me a rough estimate?
It's usually about $1,000.
But what about the military? Shouldn't someone be looking into that? After all, he's a Vietnam vet.
Oh, you
Military-
don't know all about that? Gosh, I thought you knew everything there was to know about military funerals.
The military does not cover it. They will pay a flat fee of $300. Transporting a body across the country is not considered an ordinary expense.
And that's before we even consider, like, the usual expenses, flowers, and I can't afford that.
Don't worry about it. There's an insurance policy.
How are you so certain about this insurance policy?
Trust me, I can find it.
And if anyone can find things, it's Mary Ann. I wonder if she can find an exit.
Is it even a good idea to take the body back to Kansas?
It's what Grandpa wanted. It's where all our family is. It's his home. He wanted an open casket and full military honors.
Well, if you want an open casket,
Okay, whoa. I never heard Frank say anything about wanting an open casket. And for that matter, I never heard him say that he even wanted to be buried in Kansas.
Ladies.
Well, of course he didn't discuss it with you. You're not his daughter.
Ladies, let's.
Oh, well, did he discuss it with you? I know that I am not his daughter, but I live just down the street from him, and I saw him way more than you ever did.
Well, I saw him a lot when I was little. He used to play with me. We'd play softball. He took me fishing sometimes. I remember that tackle box.
And when was the last time you saw your grandfather, Mary Ann?
Why don't you ask the question you really want to ask? Why didn't I spend more time with him? Isn't that what you really want to know?
Oh, no. I thought I was just asking an innocent question.
Ladies,
Well, I may not have
let's-
seen much of him lately, but that doesn't mean I didn't love him.
She's just upset about losing her grandpa. They were so.
Of course they were. Let's move along, ladies.
Yes, we were very close.
You can have an open casket and full military honors. We can arrange that with the VA.
I know all about that. I can make those arrangements.
I'm sure you can.
Do military honors cost money?
Of course not. That's taken care of by the military.
Yes, that's taken care of by the military.
But what about the burial?
What about it? He already has a plot right next to our grandma.
Is there a space there for you as well?
What do you mean?
Oh, I just thought since you're in the service, they may have reserved a spot for you. Just curious.
No, I haven't made those plans yet.
I see. I think what Sarah means is, what would it take to open the grave, and who will open it?
Yeah.
Where is the plot?
Well, the
Is
cemetery.
it a cemetery on Fort Leavenworth Army Base?
Oh, just a second. Mom, do you even want Frank buried in Kansas? Next to Molly?
What's wrong with him being buried with Grandma? Mom wants him buried with Grandma.
Yeah, why not? The plot's on a military site in Kansas, and it's already paid for.
So just because Tessa wants him buried next to Grandma, we should just do that? I mean, could we consider other options here?
I think the Kansas option is just fine.
And I think the Kansas option is just fine.
Of course you do.
Could we please hear what Mr. Goodman has to say?
If it is a VA cemetery, there will be no charge since your husband was a veteran.
So that won't cost us anything.
It's completely free to veterans.
Well,
See,
that's
it's
something.
completely free to veterans.
See, Sarah, you're making mountains out of molehills. Relax, it'll all be taken care of.
What about the death certificate?
Oh, I know all about those. You'll have to have one for the VA along with his DD 214 papers.
You'll need a death certificate for a number of business and financial purposes. You get 2 free copies, one for the Veterans Administration and one for the Social Security Administration. You'll probably need more. We can provide those, but only the first 2 are free.
If we need more, we can get them other places cheaper.
No, you can't. The state charges the same, no matter where you get them.
Can we not quibble about things like this now? We can go ahead and get started, right?
Yes, all we would need is a signature, and of course a check or credit card, and we can start the process.
There you are, Sarah. Why don't you go ahead and sign, and we'll get the paperwork started. And we'll help you gather the paperwork. I'm sure it's at your house. It's just a matter of finding it.
Well, all right.
I'll just need you to sign down here and fill in the date.
Okay. Can I have a level surface that you? I can't seem to find my pen. Does anyone have one I could borrow? Thank you. Oh. Oh. I don't think I can sign anything today.
Now,
responsible for all of that?
Yes, whoever signs this paper is responsible for all the expenses. How you and how your relatives contribute is between you and them. And of course, we'll need a check or a credit card, and then we can go forward.
Go ahead and sign, Sarah. We can sort the rest out later.
Yeah, let's get this done, Sarah. Remember, there's insurance.
Well, I don't know anything about that.
Trust me, we know there's a policy.
Okay. What if there isn't?
And it hasn't expired, I promise.
But what if it has? I just don't know.
Sarah, dear, sign the papers.
Yeah, sign the papers.
She doesn't have to sign the papers if she's not ready to.
Well, of course she doesn't. It's just that, well, we can't afford to stay in Tucson too long.
What with the unexpected hotel expenses and all.
And we really need to get started on these matters as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Mrs. Coleman, you don't have to do anything today.
Oh,
If you'd like to take some time, go home. Think it over.
thank you.
But we need to get started on this. Don't you want what's best for Daddy? For your husband.
Well, yes, but I'm alive and he's not. He doesn't have to worry about how much things cost. How much would it cost for a cremation?
Cremation? We can't have him cremated. That's not what Grandpa
It would be
wanted.
blasphemous to have him cremated.
He wants an open casket and full military honors.
Mary Ann, it was something your grandfather and I discussed. I don't have any money. We didn't know anything about any insurance policy, and we were in agreement that cremation would be acceptable.
If money is an issue, as a general rule, cremation is a less expensive option.
How can we have military honors with a pile of ashes? Well, where would they even drape the
The
flag?
flag would look ridiculous draped over an urn.
How would they fold it and present it?
Really, Sarah, that's not what Grandpa wanted.
Those urns are so cold and impersonal.
Oh, how would you even know what your grandpa wanted? You said you barely saw him since you were a kid. Oh no. Except for the time that you snubbed him and Mom at your wedding.
I did no such thing.
Not what I heard.
Never mind, Marianne. We know what the policy said.
How are you so sure what this policy said?
And I know there's another policy, and I think that one was for $100,000, and we need to find that one as well.
And his military papers. We need to find his military papers. You have to have those to apply for his pension.
I just received a text from my associate. Mrs. Miller reached out to an insurance company regarding Mr. Coleman's coverage. It's not an insurance company we're familiar with, but we have reached out to them
Oh, Tessa made contact with the insurance company?
and sent the information to my associate.
I knew it. I knew there was a policy.
See? Praise God! All things work together for good to them that love the Lord.
We'll be able to take Grandpa home and give him the kind of funeral he deserves.
Unfortunately, he stopped paying on it.
What?
Quite some time ago, the insurance company tells us it would have had a full face value of $4,000 had he paid into it fully. As it is worth $400 now.
That's just like him. He could never do anything right.
How are we going to give him a proper funeral on $400?
Hey, cremation. Sounding a bit more appealing now, huh?
We'll put a sock in it.
$400 isn't enough to fly the body back to Kansas, much less pay for a funeral. Yeah, but what I'd like to know, though, is how did Tessa call the insurance company and get this information in the first place?
Well, someone had to take the initiative. No telling when Sarah would get around to it.
We're only trying to help in any way we can. There's so much to be done faster than Sarah's used to.
Rhoda, the man hasn't even been dead for 24 hours.
You've got to jump on these things. We needed to find out what Grandpa wanted
To
and how
give
much
him
money.
a nice funeral.
And to find out if there was any money for you.
Well, there's not nearly enough for any funeral.
What are we going to do? We should call Mom and see what she thinks.
We don't need to call Tessa. We can go over to Sarah's house and find that policy for $100,000 and pay for the funeral with part of that.
I doubt there's any such policy, but if your family wants to pay for it, they can body flown back to Kansas.
Well, I'm sure we can work something out. We just need a little more time to work out the details, right, Marianne?
Let's go to your house right now and start looking. Who knows what all Grandpa might have in his things? We need to take a look and see. We need to find his DD-214 papers in any case.
So see, Sarah, go ahead and sign. We can sort the rest out later.
Mr. Goodman has to have payment up front. So if one of you two wants to sign the papers and give him a check or a credit card, that would be fine.
Oh, I can't give him a check now.
I didn't bring my checkbook.
Oh, but he'll take a charge card.
No, we don't deal in charge cards.
Well, I don't feel like I can sign any papers today.
I know. We'll go to lunch. Well, I'll go to lunch and discuss it over lunch. We've got some catching up to do anyway.
I really think that Sarah is too tired.
Well, we need to get out of here in any case. I'm sure Mr. Goodman has other responsibilities.
Yes, that certainly is true. I will leave this to you all to figure out, and I certainly hope that you ladies have a very nice lunch.
Well, we'll call you about lunch.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Goodman.
Good luck, Mrs. Coleman.
Thank you.
If there's anything further we can do to be of service, please let us
Come on, Mom. Let's go.
Oh, I forget my head if it wasn't attached. Oh, great, forgive me.
Oh, Sarah, you're still here.
I was,
Won't you go to lunch with us?
Let's go to lunch.
Let us treat you to lunch. Let Eileen and Belinda go on, and you can ride with us, and then we'll drop you off at your house.
well,
Let us make things up to you.
I really don't think I can.
Daddy had a lot of personal things I'm sure you don't want, like his old watch or the Coleman family Bible, things like that.
I'd like to have his old Navy cap, if you don't want it, of course.
Oh, I don't know.
You could just hop over to your house and go through his things. We wouldn't take anything that you want, only things that you don't want.
Oh, my house, it's a mess. I've been at the hospice for the last 3 days. I haven't even had a chance to load dishes in the dishwasher.
Oh, we don't care about any of that. We just want to love on you.
Please, just for a little while. He was my grandpa. I just never thought he'd go so soon. I thought I had a lot more time to make it up to him and to you. If I could just have a few of his things.
I don't know.
Oh, this would be an ideal time to get rid of some of the things of his that you don't want. You know, while I've got my car out here in Tucson. And you don't want to go, having to go to the expense of putting that in the mail. And it's such a long drive.
Oh,
And I don't know when I'd be driving back this way again.
Please, I want to love on you too.
well, all right. Give me some time and I'll go home and go through his things and I'll put everything together for you and you can come over and take what you want. I don't think I better go to lunch.
Oh, well, that's okay. Why don't we meet you back at your house about, say, 7 o'clock?
Okay, the address is 35. No,
Oh, we don't need the address. We have it.
we have it.
Thought they had gone. Mom, come on, the car's running. Let's go. Oh, no. Oh, God, Mom, I know that look. What did you do? Oh, what did you say? You told him that you'd go to lunch with him, didn't you?
No,
Oh, well, then what?
I said they could come to the house.
What? When? Oh, jeez, why would you tell him he could come to the house?
You know how they are. Oh, I told you not to leave me alone with them.
No, but I thought they had gone.
Well, they came back. Well, you know what? It does make sense. I mean, Rhoda has her car, and she'll take some things that I don't want, and it's such a long drive.
No. I bet you just told them they could come right on over right now, didn't you?
No, they're going to lunch now. I told them 7 o'clock.
Well, I guess that's something. Okay, well, let me think. I got it. Here we go. We're going back to your house, and we're gonna go through Frank's things, but we're putting them out on the porch. Ooh, those spawns of Satan are not getting into your house, Mom. Come on, let's go. Here is another old bill turned over to a collection agency.
And here's another old product warranty. Your stepdad was quite the pack rat.
Yes, he was. Gosh, lots of papers, lots of files, and all the junk as far as I can tell.
Well, nonetheless, you better shred it. We don't want to take the chance of someone stealing one of these documents.
Are you kidding? God would want any of this junk.
You mean like for a social security number?
Or
Or a
life insurance policy. Okay, yeah, I'll start a shred pile.
Inspirational pamphlets? Appeals from needy evangelists?
You mean greedy evangelists?
Oh, you are so cynical.
No, I'm just a realist. I mean, look at all of these papers for get-rich-quick schemes. You know, I bet the Nigerian princes would have loved to have gotten a hold of him.
How do you know they didn't?
Good point. Okay, like look at this one. Buy a share of a giant ruby said to be worth at least $2 million on the open market.
Oh. More church pamphlets. Are you right with the Lord? 3 ways to have a closer walk. Just send $321.
Oh, here we go. An investment paper on gold coins. Buy this coin, and in just 10 short months, it'll triple in value.
Oh dear, you know these crooks prey on the elderly and the naive. I read an article that said that crooks steal millions from retirees every year.
Jeez, not to mention all of the family members who take advantage of their folks.
They should have declared bankruptcy years ago. There's no way they were going to pay off the debts that he brought to the marriage. But you know, back then, bankruptcy was a terrible, shameful thing. It meant you were a total failure.
Yeah, Mom was too old-fashioned and Frank was too honorable. I mean, they just kept trying, but it got so that the interest on the debts were more than the bills themselves.
Do you girls need anything?
Oh, no, we're okay, thanks. So we're just going through all of Frank's old papers.
Oh, so look, but I found some markers and a little masking tape. Hopefully this will satisfy Rhoda. Ladies, here's that masking tape and markers that you wanted. Do you need any more boxes?
Oh, no, thanks.
Well, they're still loading up the car and Mary Ann's on the phone again.
Well, she's probably getting her latest orders from Tessa. You know, that girl has some real anger issues. Hey, she's in the military. You don't suppose she has a gun?
No, she doesn't have a gun.
Do they do anything without Tessa's orders?
Tessa's the brainy one. You know, she has a lot of influence over Rhoda and Marianne. And, you know, she does have a really good job.
Well, that's what you said. What about Rhoda? Does she work?
No, never had a job in her life.
Yeah, she just bleeds her ex-husband for every penny she can get.
You know, every time he gets a raise, she takes him back to court.
Unbelievable.
Well, she throws herself on the mercy of the court. She has 4 kids, and the judge always sides with her. Dan's such a nice guy. Oh, he always ends up paying her.
Well, she just lives on her ex-husband's alimony and child support. No wonder she's so anxious to get her hands on an insurance policy.
Well, Frank got a settlement when his first wife died. Rhoda managed to get all of that. I'm sure she figures there's another policy for him as well.
Maybe there is.
Well, I'm afraid Rhoda and Marianne are going to want to come in, and I don't want them in my
Oh,
house.
no. Don't let them. I mean, it is a lovely screened-in porch and a beautiful day outside. Let them stay out there.
Oh, but they're sneaky. They'll figure out a way.
Well, they're not gonna climb in through the window.
I know. Let's go out for pizza. And it is. When they're done, we'll be gone. Oh, yes. We'll tell them we're going out. But we don't have to tell them where.
Yes, I'll go wash my hands and grab my purse.
I can do that. Ladies, we're going out for a while. We'll be back later.
Okay, thanks. We'll be out here on the porch.
Hey, Mom, I had a few things that I wanted to show you in the office. You may want to give them to the girls while they're here, but it'll just take a second.
Okay, but let's hurry. I want to go.
Oh, look, this still has a Goodwill tag on it. Do you think Mike could wear this?
He might. Just take the tags off and throw it in the take pile. What's she gonna do with it?
Oh, look. Here's a picture of Mom and Dad. Oh, and here's a picture of Tessa and me. I remember that was taken. It was taken the day we went to Gage Park.
Here's a photo of me and Davy the day Grandpa took us fishing. I actually caught 2 fish that day. Davy didn't catch any. Davy was so mad. I think Grandpa liked Davy better than me. He seemed sorry that I caught the fish instead of Davy.
Well, don't feel like the Lone Ranger. After Sarah came along, Daddy never paid any attention to any of us. I can't believe she stuck us out here on this dusty old porch.
Well, at least the weather's nice.
It's your mom.
Aren't you gonna answer it?
And tell her we haven't been able to get inside the house. No thanks.
If only those other women weren't there, I know I could get her to let us in.
What a mess. Ever since Sarah came along, Daddy hasn't had anything to do with any of us.
What do they even spend all their money on?
They spend it on stupid stuff. Do you know that one time Daddy, he's always handing out money to homeless people. One time he took a homeless man and took him into a bookstore and bought him a brand new Bible. I'm surprised they don't have homeless people camped out in their yard.
Sarah probably sends money to those scrawny dogs with weepy eyes you see on TV.
Well, they don't spend it on my kids anymore, that's for sure. Billy wanted to take karate lessons, but I just couldn't afford it.
I hate that commercial. I can't change the channel fast enough when it comes on. Do you think we can find the insurance?
Well, Sarah seems to think we can. I mean, Tessa does.
Well, Sarah didn't seem to know anything about the big policy.
Well, Daddy may have never told her about it.
Didn't seem like it. If he was as careless as you say he was, he may have never changed the policy, and you and Mom could still be the beneficiaries.
Well, there's only one way to find out. We need to get our hands on that policy.
It's Mom.
Don't answer!
We have to answer. You got her to finance this whole trip. She has a right to know what's going on.
Nothing is going on until we get inside the house.
Hi, Mom. Here's Aunt Rhoda.
Daddy's things right now? No, we're not in the house. We're on the porch. She put his things on the porch. Well, I can't exactly force my way in. Oh, I know. We'll figure a way. But she's got her daughter and her sister with her. Okay, all right. We'll keep working on it. But I have to play the game. Okay. All right, bye. We've got to get inside that house. Sarah said she was leaving.
Well, they probably went out the back door. Well,
Is it open?
uh-huh.
Do you think we can get in and get out?
Up to you.
Huh. Move over. Do you think they've gone?
They must have. They didn't answer the door.
Okay. You said you knew where Daddy used to hide his things. Where would he put important papers?
I saw a TV show once where some old geezer taped papers to the bottoms of drawers, stuff he thought was valuable.
Well, Daddy wasn't smart enough to do that.
You don't know. He watched a lot of TV.
Ah, Royals baseball and McHale Navy reruns. We've got to find that policy. I'm due for some Botox injections and I'd really like to get my eyes done.
Botox. Isn't that poison and expensive?
Do you know how hard it is to get a husband at my age? I need all the help I can get.
Oh, good grief, what are you doing in here?
Oh, Sarah! Well, I needed to use your bathroom and you said you were leaving and the door was locked, so we climbed in through the window. Can you tell me where your bathroom is?
Well, you could have knocked.
Oh, we did. You didn't answer. Sorry, I didn't mean to bother you.
What on earth is going on?
Oh, just needed to heed the call of nature when you, Sarah, wouldn't mind.
Yeah, Sarah invited us over.
Okay, well, the guest restroom is that way, I think.
Grandpa had a lot of stuff. Are any of these paintings or old photos his?
Those paintings are prints, and they're mine. Those are my ancestors.
Well, I wasn't sure. You know how all those old photos look alike?
So, have you finished going through all your grandfather's things?
Almost. We'll take a lot of his clothes back to Kansas. The fishing gear's great. Michael liked that. We can fit it all into Rhoda's car.
What about the photo albums and the family Bibles?
Yeah, Rhoda will love all that stuff.
Oh, I almost forgot. Here's some books that were Frank's. I'm sure you'll want to have them.
I thought I heard voices. Marianne, here's a stack of your grandpa's papers that you might want. I'm sure you'll find some interesting things in there.
Oh, thanks for the use of your bathroom.
Oh, Rhoda! Here's a big stack of things you might want to.
Well, okay, ladies. Why don't you take those things out to the porch? You can go through them and decide what you want to keep. And look, you don't even have to go through the window. All right. Come on, Marianne.
But shouldn't I stay and look around in here?
Oh, no. You've got so many things to go through. Out there. Not much left in here. Just Sarah's things.
But what about the DD-214 papers? I really think I should help you look for those.
No. You've got so many things out there. I mean, I still see lots of stuff out on the couch and the wicker chair.
We don't want to hold you up from that work. All right. Call us if you need us.
We'll be sure to do that.
Well, so much for leaving them here alone. By the wait, what was in those papers you gave them?
A bunch of old bills. I thought it'd be a good idea for them to see how much debt we're in.
Yeah, might be a good idea for them to see how much we owe.
That's right. That's what I was thinking. I am now going back to the office to see if I can find the all-important DD 214 papers. Well, I might as well go through these old files.
Hey, I guess we're not going out for pizza.
Now while they're here.
Oh, say, hey, here's an insurance policy.
Hand out to Molly, that's no good.
Shred it. Sarah, this is a contract for a timeshare. Did you have a timeshare?
Yeah. We won a trip to the Ozarks. Well, you know, Frank would never say no to a salesman.
Do you ever use it?
Oh, this was back when Frank was working for the security firm. We only got to use it one time because, well, we couldn't afford to keep up the maintenance payments.
Hey, you know, you better check your emails.
Oh, I
I
did
read
hear it.
something about Frank.
Oh, I hope I didn't miss anything. Oh, it's from Pastor Dave. He wants to talk to me, probably about the memorial service. I'll call him tomorrow. Oh, here's one from the funeral home.
What does it say?
It's from Mr. Goodman. The insurance company that holds the burial policy is not on our approved list.
Oh.
We're sorry, Goodmans cannot handle your funeral.
Well, now what?
Wait. Oh, since the policy will pay at least $400 of the expenses, he recommends West Lawn Funeral Home. And he says they'll deliver the body there free of charge.
Well, one thing is for sure. Don't tell Rhoda and Marianne about this. The last thing we need is for them to come barging in on another meeting with a funeral director.
Oh my gosh, guys! Look what I found!
What is it?
It's a little strong box.
Oh,
I think I found Frank's papers.
I completely forgot about that strong box.
How can you forget about a strong box?
Well, I don't know. It was on the shelf in that closet for years. I just forgot.
Well, Mom, it's locked. Do you have a key?
No, I don't know where there would be a key.
Well, you must have a key. This could be very important.
Now, I know what all the keys are for on the hook in the kitchen. I'm sure I don't have it on my key ring.
What about Frank's key ring?
No, Frank only had his house key and his car key and his U.S. Navy penknife.
Oh, that reminds me. What about Frank's ID papers that you gave to Marianne at the funeral home?
Oh,
Did she give those back?
I don't think so. No, I'm sure she didn't. I remember she wanted to see him at the funeral home, and I couldn't think of a good reason not to let her. But then all the hubbub started, and I'm sorry, I just forgot all about it.
Well, we have to get that stuff back. But his social security card, his base pass, no telling what they might do with those things.
They're not going to be eager to do that.
And that brings up something else.
What?
What if Marianne has a gun? What if she has a gun with her?
Marianne has a gun.
No, Marianne doesn't have a gun. She's not going to take a gun and shoot us.
Well, don't you watch television or read the newspapers? It happens all the time. And the victims are usually family members.
Oh my God, that's the
What do we do now?
What do? We let them in.
Well,
Let's stop that.
What about the gun?
You said she didn't have a gun.
Well, I don't know.
We can't. Wait. Where's the gun? You can't let them in. We have to hide the box.
Oh,
I got the box. I got the box. No. Here. No, you hide it. I know. Here. Put it under the Bible. Just look another book. I'm gonna come in. That's good. Okay. Swoop.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's fine. almost finished going through Daddy's things. We just need some more boxes and bags to put things in that we're taking with us.
Oh yeah, Mom's got a few boxes in the back bedroom. I'll go get
Oh, I found some really nice photos of both Dad and Mom with the kids. I'd forgotten about them. It was really nice to see photos of both Dad and Mom.
I'm sure it was.
Marianne found some good photos too, didn't you, Marianne?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Mary Ann, speaking of meaningful things, we were just saying we can't seem to find Frank's ID papers. We wondered if maybe you forgot to give those back to Belinda.
Maybe I have them.
Well, we can take care of all the logistical things we need to without them, but we really need you to give them back.
Hey, I remember this Bible. This is the one Grandpa used to take to church.
Okay, he still uses that. He used that. I'm going to keep it.
Marianne, why don't you sit down over here? And Rhoda, you can sit down right there. Oh, you ladies must be so tired and thirsty. Sarah, why don't you get the ladies a drink of water? Sure, I'll be happy to.
Oh, going through Daddy's things wore me out.
Oh, I bet it did. So, you comfortable, Marianne?
Sure.
I'm just a high school counselor, but I have helped some people in my career, and I was thinking maybe it might be good for the three of you to talk things through. Maybe share some concerns you might have. Huh? Oh, waiting on me.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome. Yes, I was thinking that perhaps you might have some concerns about Sarah. Sarah might have done something to irritate you. And perhaps you might have some concerns you'd like to share with Sarah.
I'm good.
Okay. Well, Rhoda, do you have any concerns you'd like to voice?
Well, I guess it kind of felt like you took our daddy away from us when you married him.
I bet it did. Sarah, how do you feel about that? Well, it seemed to me that you never really had time for Frank. Every time we reached out to you, you were always too busy.
That's not true. I called him on his last birthday.
You called him the day after and left a 15-second voicemail.
I only did that once. And I was really busy this year.
Well, ladies, let's not get bogged down in specifics. We're just talking about feelings here. Sarah, anything else you'd like to share? Well, it just seemed to me that you never really had time for Frank once he cut off your credit card.
What? What's this about a credit card? Grandpa let you use a credit card?
That was a long time ago.
Mama never got a credit card. I never got a credit card.
Well, he canceled it after Rhoda maxed it out at $8,000.
$8,000?
I needed that money to take care of my 4 children. I needed that money for school supplies and for clothes.
So it was all right to spend Grandpa's money on fancy clothes for yourself.
Oh, that's not exactly true. I didn't have the money to dress like Tessa.
She had to look nice for her job.
Daddy gave her the money for the clothes for that job and for the car to make sales calls in.
Maybe if you got a job, you'd have some money.
I had 4 children to take care of.
Now, ladies, we'll let you work that out between you. Sarah, do you have anything further you'd like to share? Well, there was one thing that has bothered me. When you were in the hospital getting a tummy tuck,
A tummy tuck? You got a tummy tuck?
your father and I went to visit you,
You invited him into the hospital room while I was told to stay out in the hall. Then you proceeded to tell your father he had to choose between me and you. And when your father said, "Well, I'm not giving up my wife," you said, "Well, then I disown you. You are no longer my father."
Oh, Sarah, I never said anything like that.
Oh, yes, you did. Frank remembered it vividly.
Well, if I did, it must have been the anesthesia talking. Sarah, we may have made mistakes, but we're sorry for all that now. We just want to make it up to you. We just want to love on you now.
You really got a tummy tuck.
Give it a rest, Marianne.
And what about the lot? The $10,000 you talked Frank into giving you to buy the lot, to build a house on, and then you never built the house?
There was good reason for that.
Oh, well, I'm waiting to hear it.
None of this is going to bring Daddy back. The most important thing is that I know there's an insurance policy, and it's for $100,000.
That's right, we need to find the policy and his DD 214 papers. How about we start looking right now?
Here's the boxes, Marianne. You don't need to look for a thing.
But I know where Grandpa likes to hide things.
Oh, so do we. And if I find anything, I'll be sure to let you know. Okay, ladies, we're all tired, and I know you're tired too, and we're gonna let you get back to your hotel.
I'm exhausted.
Yes. Well, I really think we should help you look. Oh, no, now Sarah's been up for nearly 3 days straight. We all need to get caught up on our rest. Ooh, that's a lovely painting.
It's a print.
Really, ladies. Sarah's exhausted.
Guess we better go. Marianne,
What?
Frank's ID papers?
Right. Hey, I have an idea.
What?
Grandpa's favorite meal is spaghetti. I'm going to come over tomorrow night and cook you a spaghetti dinner.
Oh, well, that's really not necessary.
Oh, but I want to. It would mean so much to me to cook Grandpa's favorite meal one more time for you.
Well, Marianne, there's just so much going on.
That's so nice of you, Marianne. Very nice, but it's not necessary. Sarah's exhausted, and she has to deal with all of their friends tomorrow at
Yes.
church, and we all need to get caught up in our sleep.
Please, let me make things up to you.
Marianne, I haven't got any groceries, and I don't know when I'll get to the grocery store.
Oh, don't worry about that. I'll bring all the groceries.
Oh,
You just supply the plates. You do have plates.
sure. Yeah. I guess it wouldn't hurt.
Okay, all right. We'll see you tomorrow, 6 o'clock.
Okay, sure.
Great. This will be so much fun. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Are you insane? Why did you say that they could come over tomorrow?
Well, why did you start playing armchair therapist?
I was trying to keep her away from the box. And I wanted to find out if she was so crazy she was going to get her gun over here and shoot us.
Did you ever think maybe she was just trying to be nuts?
Oh, yes, and boa constrictors give great hugs.
She will hide her gun in her box of spaghetti.
She would not.
And then she'll put strychnine in the tomato sauce.
She would never have done any of those things.
Yeah, but since when is Frank's favorite meal spaghetti? I always thought he loved a good steak.
I think that Marianne's culinary skills are limited to opening a can of SpaghettiOs.
Did you ever think, seriously, that she might be sorry and this was just her way of apologizing?
Oh, Sarah, don't you get it? The only reason she's being nice to you is she thinks there's money to be had.
Well, let's see if there is. Mom, find the keys to this box.
I don't have any keys.
There's loose keys all over this house. Mom, one of them has to fit the lock.
Yes. I don't know where any loose keys would be.
Well, did you Did you look in Frank's dresser drawers?
Yes, we looked in there and there were no mystery keys in there.
Okay, but what about on your key ring?
I'm sure I don't have it on my key ring.
Well, why don't you look?
Seriously.
Yes.
I know I don't have it on my key ring. Where are my keys?
Look in your side pocket.
Oh. So here's the car key, okay? Here's the house key. Here's the storage shed key. Here's the key to the mailbox. And here's key to the shed. Okay, wait a minute. So here's my car key, and then I had a house key, and I had a key to the shed, and then I had a mailbox key, and I had a shed key.
Oh my gosh, Mom, give me those keys.
What?
You know, if I had Mary Ann's gun, I'd shoot you myself.
Mary Ann does not have a gun. Oh, it worked!
Yeah.
Oh!
Okay, let's see what we got. Ha-ha! DD-214 papers.
Oh my goodness. Mary Ann was right. Frank did know he needed to keep these in a safe place.
Oh my. Mom, this is a will. Did you know that Frank had a will?
No. I mean, we went to a seminar a few years back, but mostly because they offered a nice dinner at a fancy restaurant. I didn't know he did anything with the forms they handed out. I don't know why he bothered. It's not like we have anything to leave anybody.
Okay, it says, I, Frank Dawson Coleman, hereby constitute and appoint Sarah May Coleman as my true and lawful agent and authority to make decisions on my behalf, conduct my affairs, yada, yada, yada. Okay, here we go. If Sarah Coleman should die or become incompetent, I name Belinda Marie Marshall? Mom, he named me to be the executor if you couldn't do it? Oh, boy, I wish I would have known that back at the hospital and the funeral home. Damn, I'd have had what else is in the box?
Oh, looks like just more copies of a DD-214 papers. Oh, here's something. John Hancock.
Oh, this is the application to pay for funeral expenses. This must be the policy that Mary Beth and Rhoda were talking about.
Okay, so wait a minute. So Tessa calls the insurance company, says she has power of attorney so that they fax her a copy of this form? And that's where the girls have been getting all this garbage about an open casket and all of that other stuff?
Oh, look at the date on this. Well, this was taken out when Frank was still in the military and the girls were little. Oh.
What else does the will say?
Well, I mean, it's just honestly a lot of legal mumbo jumbo. Well, oh my gosh.
What?
Okay, listen to this. I hereby disinherit Rhoda, Ellen, Coleman, Mason, Tessa, Dolores, Coleman, Thomas, and direct that neither they nor their issue receive anything under this will. He legally disowned both Rhoda and Tessa.
Well, I guess he remembered what Mary Ann said all those years ago.
Do you think we can accomplish anything by just dropping by unannounced like this?
Well, I don't know, but what could it hurt since he happened to drive right past the place?
I think all we'll be able to do is make an official appointment.
Well, that's something.
We might be able to meet the funeral director.
And at least the relatives don't know about this home.
Don't count on it. I am pretty sure I heard a drone circling overhead when we were at the last stop.
Oh, hello. The receptionist just stepped out for a moment. Could I help you?
I'm Sarah Coleman.
Mr. Goodman from Goodman's Funeral Home referred us here.
Oh yes, Mr. Goodman called and said he'd be contacting us. I'm Michelle Hernandez, one of the managers here. I have an appointment in just a few minutes, but I could go over a few things with you now.
Oh, that would be great.
As I recall, you're interested in having a funeral with military honors and the bodies to be cremated, is that correct?
That's right, yes.
Very good. We'll start the paperwork. So far, we have confirmed $400 insurance plus the VA death benefits.
Okay, thank you.
And we're rushing the process of getting the death certificate. I know you're going to want that as soon as possible because you'll need that certificate to apply for benefits.
Thank you so much.
Our services and prices are all listed in this brochure. We have an information check sheet regarding military services. It's available online, but I'll run and get you a hard copy.
Oh, thank you.
I'll get that and a price sheet on Earth. Can you come back tomorrow at, let's say, 10 a.m.?
That would be fine.
Wonderful. I'll be right back.
Oh, she seems very efficient.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and very friendly.
Well, now that's because she hasn't met Frank's relatives yet.
Oh, speaking of relatives.
We were just leaving.
Oh, well, we heard the body was being brought here, so we thought we'd pop over and see if any plans have been made yet. Should we just follow you?
Why stop now?
Right?
Oh, no, nothing has been decided. We're just running some errands.
Oh, we have to go to the grocery and the gas station, and you wouldn't be interested, but since you're in Tucson, you should take in some of the sights. Oh, I hear Sabino Canyon is just lovely.
So nothing's been decided yet.
You might say that.
Well, I was thinking about driving back tomorrow, but maybe we'll just stick around a few more days until things get firmed out.
Oh, we don't want to hold you up.
Yeah.
Mom wants to know if there's going to be a memorial service here for Grandpa. She's thinking about flying in.
We are not going to know anything until we know what we can afford.
Say, Sarah?
Huh?
We need to leave. You don't want to be late for your appointment.
Oh,
Yeah.
the appointment.
Yes.
Oh, yes, we can get that information later.
Yes.
Yeah, ladies, we're gonna have to leave. We'll see you later.
Yeah,
Bye.
Bye.
All right, we'll see you tonight for the spaghetti dinner.
Hello? May I help you?
Oh, hello, we're Frank Coleman's relatives. Sarah had to go, but we were just double checking on the appointment for tomorrow.
Oh, you're relative to Sarah Coleman? Oh, yes. The meeting's scheduled for 10 a.m. tomorrow.
That's what we thought. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care.
I don't know all of this.
Come sit
I hope those girls weren't too terribly upset about us standing them up.
Mom, we didn't stand them up last night. I mean, we sent them a text, told them that you weren't feeling well, and that we just wouldn't be available.
Well, I still feel bad about it.
You don't owe them anything. Just because Mary Ann decided she wanted to cook for you doesn't mean you have to let her.
Right.
Although, it was kind of funny when we drove around to the back entrance of the complex just to make sure we didn't run into them by accident. Well, we would have felt bad if she'd taken out her gun and shot us.
And we hadn't found the antidote for the strychnine in the spaghetti yet.
Would you stop? She wouldn't have done any of that.
Oh, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
Amen. Are you going to tell them about the will? Oh, I doubt it.
Oh, I think you should. Man, it would serve them right.
Regardless of how they treated their father, I think that would be difficult to hear.
Well, what if they ask about a will and then demand to see it?
Well, in that case, I'll let them.
Where's that funeral director? Oh,
Oh. Hello. How are you?
Fine. I was really disappointed that you all ditched us last night.
Marianne, we did not ditch you. We sent you a message and said that Sarah was too tired to have company.
oh yes.
Marianne was pretty disappointed she couldn't make a spaghetti dinner for all of you.
Well, there was so much going on, and really there's only so much stress that Sarah can take in one day.
Uh-huh.
I don't think you understand how difficult this is for Sarah.
Well, this is difficult for us too.
I guess it is, yes.
We just want to help make things easier for her.
Well, you sure have a very strange way of showing it.
Sarah, we've been talking to the whole family and they have agreed to pay to have Daddy taken back to Kansas.
So your family wants to pay for it.
I'm sure that can be arranged. Everyone is in agreement, the children and the grandchildren, they want Daddy back in Kansas.
Well, if that's the case, we're going to have the money up front.
Oh. Well, see, that's the thing. Sarah would just need to sign the paperwork and then put the cost on a charge card. And then when we got back, we would collect the money and then send it to her.
Huh. Is this one of Tessa's ideas?
I can't give you the money up front, but I promise we'll pay for it.
Well, then we are right back where we started.
Yeah, Rhoda, I've fallen for that before. You'll never pay it back.
But we want Grandpa to have a funeral with an open casket like he wanted.
Ladies, there is not going to be any casket. Frank is going to be cremated.
Sarah, do you know what Grandpa's greatest fear was?
Oh, of being ignored and abandoned by his family.
Grandpa's greatest fear was being burned alive.
Oh, it was not. He was fine with being burned. I mean, if he was dead.
We just want to honor Grandpa's wishes.
Marianne, we found the form that you keep referring to. Your grandfather simply had a policy that he just checked a lot of boxes on more than 40 years ago. He didn't really care about an open casket.
But the policy said...
Frank is going to be cremated. There just isn't enough money for the kind of burial and service that you want.
He's our father and grandfather. Don't you want to honor that?
Honor? You talk about honor? You didn't honor him when he was alive.
Well, I meant to honor him. It's just that we were all really busy.
Yes, I'm married and I'm in the army. I have a very busy life.
Sarah, I know that Tessa hasn't always been thoughtful. But we're sorry for all that now. That's all in the past. Before Daddy met you, I remember we were sitting at the kitchen table and he pulled out his paycheck and he pointed to a place on the pay stub. And he said, now, here's $100,000. If anything happens to me, it'll all go to you. Even if he put paying on it, it still could be worth thousands.
Is that the policy that you've been looking for this whole time? Rhoda, you've never had a job, have you?
Taking care of children is a full-time job.
No, I mean working for a company like Macy's, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Chase, something like that.
No, I've been taking care of my 4 children.
Rhoda, what your father showed you was his group life insurance policy. That's the benefit that the family of an employee gets if they should pass away. The minute you leave the company, that's gone.
No, that can't be.
Aunt Rhoda, is that the policy you were sure he had?
Life insurance, health insurance, employee discounts, all good while you work for the company, but when you leave, it's all gone.
So there's no real policy?
I can't believe it. You let Mom pay for us to come all the way out here because you were so sure about a life insurance policy. Mom's going to kill you when she hears it was all for nothing. And remember, everyone in Texas has a gun.
But Daddy showed me.
And I took vacation time off of work. We could have gone to Florida.
What? You could have gone to Florida.
Well, it is a long way, and airline tickets and hotels are expensive.
Let me get this straight. If you had known there was no insurance policy, you wouldn't even have tried to come and visit your grandfather?
Well,
Seriously? Oh, and you were going to be the one that was going to help with all the paperwork because you knew so much about military funerals.
Sarah, I think
You
that
think? Well, here's what I think. I think that you and Tessa just wanted to have your father laid out in a casket in his navy blues with men in uniform folding up a flag and presenting it to you. You don't give a rat's ass about your father. Well, neither one of you have shed a tear or shown any signs of grief since you got here. All you're interested in is whether or not there's money to be had. Oh, the way you treated him while we were married was cruel, and all because I stopped the gravy train. Rhoda, you broke his heart.
Sarah,
So,
really,
here's what's going to happen. Frank is going to be cremated. In June, we'll have a military service in Kansas, and the family is invited to come, but they better leave me alone. As far as I'm concerned, no one has any right to say anything about Frank's funeral or the way they treated him all our married lives. There's no $100,000 policy. If there was, it would have nothing to do with you. Well,
Marianne, it seems they don't appreciate our help here. Come on, let's go.
oh,
Sarah? Sarah? Honey, what's wrong?
Yeah, Mom, you won. They are gone.
what? My husband is dead. I've just driven off his family. And I don't even have enough money to have him cremated.
Look, those witches with the bead just wanted one last chance to bleed him for money.
A leopard just doesn't change its spots.
And second,
Hi, ladies. I'm so glad you're here. I want to tell you about a call I got from somebody at Memorial Hospital. It seems some of the nurses there really enjoyed hearing your husband's friends sing to him. They heard of your plight and took up a collection.
Oh my goodness, that's wonderful.
They're sending over a check for $257.35.
Oh, goodness.
That must have been some singing.
I know. I was so excited I wanted to tell you right away. I'm going to run to the printer, go pick up the paperwork, and then we'll go to my office. There's a number of details we'll need to work out for the memorial service. I'll be right back.
oh, that's better than a sharp poke in the eye. Well, Mama, I didn't want to say anything to you, while they were around, but I got a text from Pastor Dave earlier. He sent it to me because you hadn't had a chance to respond to it
Oh,
yet.
I didn't call him back. Oh,
It's okay, it's all right. He just wanted to let me know that the church is going to pay for part of the funeral expenses.
what?
Yeah, I guess they have some sort of a special fund or something. And they're going to be giving you a check for $1,000.
Oh my goodness, $1,000.
And we'll take out a loan for the rest. I'll co-sign and I'll help you with the payments till you get your finances straightened out.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say.
Oh, you don't have to say anything.
Oh, I am so blessed. Oh.
Okay, ladies, we're ready for you. You may all come on back.
Oh. Well, I guess that's just the three of us. Who needs insurance policies? My friends and my family are the best insurance I could ever have. Oh, I am truly blessed.